Hello everyone, this is me Anusa Sentan and welcome to my podcast. So today in this podcast I'll be sharing a reflective summary of my personal image of the child and the pedagogical potential that arises from this perspective. And then I will be critically evaluating historical views of children through theories such as Locke, Wesley, Rousseau, Froebel, and Malaguzzi. And I'll be reflecting their perspective on how it aligns with mine or do they challenge my pedagogy. So, starting from what is image of the child? So it reflects beliefs and ideas that the educators hold about children that influences their view of children capabilities, rights and belonging in the society. And I believe it has got a direct impact on the pedagogy, and this view sets the foundation of educators' attitude towards children, how they respond, listen and observe them. And starting from my view of my image of the child, how do I view the child? So my image of the child is totally based on my own experiences as a child, which were characterized by outdoor play, imaginations and strong social relationships that I had around me. I recall spending many hours outside with my friends and siblings, using natural materials and the resources that we had access to, such as leaves, mud, rocks, and branches to play. And now that I recall the memories, I remember that we used to invent lots of games and create lots of stories out of those resources that we had access to. And these experiences has really fostered imagination, resilience and social learning for me. And I believe when we create these when we create these environment for the children, it will encourage them to positively contribute their building trust, growing empathy and learning about collaboration. As an educator, these experiences shape my belief that children are competent, curious, confident, active, and social learners. The child I view is equivalent to adults in worth and dignity, along with developmental appropriate needs that must be guided and accompanied. I believe that children are competent learners, imaginative, and able to contribute meaningfully to their own learning process and society. The view of child is important to my own practice as an educator, as it encourages me to create environments for learning that are playful, inquiry based and responsive to the children's interest. It ensures the implication of outdoor play, risk taking, and exploration in learning, and also it challenges me to embrace inclusive practice that celebrates children as equal citizens with right, voices, and unique abilities. Lastly, I would like to say, I would like to share that I'm such a strong believer of like how each actions has how each child how each child's action has something to do with the neurology, because I believe every actions and experiences contributes to neurological effect that determines how a brain develops, which impact their behavior. And now, like from the past, we have lots of theorists who have been sharing their ideas about image of the child, their view of childhood. So now we're gonna critically evaluate some of them, starting from John Locke. His tabula rasa theory of the child believed baby are born with blank slate and knowledge are gained through experiences, which emphasize early experiences as crucial to the development of knowledge. He argued that children learn knowledge through the senses and its sensory perceptions, and that experience carries lasting impact later in life. While Locke acknowledged curiosity as way for learning, his view brought children to receiving experience passively, overlooking their capabilities and self agency. My belief of the child as a capable and active learners contrasts this concept. Children do not receive passively what the environment offers. Instead, they create their own experiences and paths to learning actively. However, Locke's emphasis on the formative impact of early experiences resonates to the contemporary view on the importance of early childhood education in shaping lifelong outcomes. Let's talk about John Wesley. His religious vision of the child was a strict disciplinarian. He believed that the will of children should be grounded with fear, discipline, and follow regulations to shape them from sin or hell. Play was questioned upon, discarded, and education was understood as empty, silly, and primarily focuses as religious training. And this is an exact opposite to my view of the child as competent and equal. His authoritarian and fear based pedagogy does not align with the rights and agency of children and advocates a deficit model. While is influential historically, this view of children is not compatible with contemporary understanding of children as right holders and capable learners and is contrary to my own belief in the importance of building trust, creativity, and happiness through play. Heading to Rousseau, he advocated a child centered, nature based education, believing that children should be isolated from society, corruption, and cruel environment at an early age. He classified distinct stages of childhood with young children from birth to 12 years being guided largely by their emotions and impulses, while Roche's categorization of childhood as a distinct age stage in life was a strong approach. However, it was male centered, addressing boys primarily and neglecting other children's requirements. And even his idea of protecting children from society raises issue about child being a capable learner and the importance of trial and error through experimentation, doing, and play that reinforces resilience. My own philosophy agrees with his children centered education and learning from nature, but I will not agree with the necessity of removing children from the social situation, as I consider that children are capable to be introduced to social contexts like diverse family structures, gender stereotypes, and other contexts as well. Heading to Froebel, he was the inventor of kindergarten and he created a theory that children are seeds that needs to be nurtured gently so that they can grow according to their own inner potential. He emphasized purposeful play as the process of learning, with play being an expression of God's plan, and his philosophy remains strong at the early childhood pedagogy, especially in relation to learning through play, because his view resonates a lot with mine as well, because I view play as the process of children's development, and I view play is an opportunity for children when actually the learning starts to happen. Having said that, he's I understand the child initiated and exploratory, and I understand the value of purposeful play as well, but he's more focused on purposeful play has contrast with my view of play as providing open-ended opportunities for extending their understanding when fostered with sensitivity and respect. Lastly, talking about Malaguzzi, he believed of an image of the child who is powerful, capable, competent, and full of potential. He described children as citizens and co-constructors of knowledge, capable of expressing themselves through 100 languages. His philosophy deeply supports my personal perspective of children as capable and social beings. His view that children thrive through relationships, communication, and collaboration resonates strongly to my belief in the power of social play and shared learning. And even talking about Malaguzzi, his recognition of children's rights, creativity, and agency provides a strong theoretical foundation for not just my pedagogical practice, but for for upcoming educators and for now educators practices, particularly in fostering inclusive and inquiry driven environments. And talking about how am I gonna implicate all these reflection, evaluation, and knowledge into my pedagogical practice. When I critically reflect to these perspectives, it has deepened my awareness of my own view of the child and its implication for practice. Theories like Locke, Rousseau, Wesley, Froebel, and Malaguzzi all present differing viewpoints, but together they create a strong debate concerning children's abilities and needs. In this analysis, I strongly understood the importance of valuing children's agency and capability by creating space where their voices and choices shape the curriculum, as mentioned by Malaguzzi. And Froebel's recognition of play supported my own personal experience and added a depth to my commitment to play as the foundation for inquiry, creativity, and collaboration. And talking about Rose's advocacy for nature and my own childhood experiences contribute positively for outdoor learning as a rich environment for resilience and holistic growth. Talking about these positive sides, by contrast, I have got Wesley's authoritarian approach, awareing me of the danger of deficit thinking, reminding me not to find my practice in control but rather aim in building trust, respect, and providing guidance. And finally, Locke's beliefs on formative power of early experience emphasize the importance of high quality, inclusive education to achieve later success in life. And after I incorporated these all perspective into my pedagogy, I position my teaching pedagogy as that which values children's capabilities, invites play, explorations, and view them as citizens and rightful holders of the right. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening.